Alright guys, how's it going today? So welcome to Saturday. I got done checking up on my gaming cameras and decided to go for a little bit of a, well, it's not Sunday, but Sunday cruise, but Saturday cruise. It's been a few weeks since I've been down this way. Fuck that, it's been longer than that. At least a good month or two. Yeah, probably longer than that, I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I was down here, but yeah, people's wheat's coming in. I think they got wheat or oats. But I found something quite freaking disturbing down here. And yeah, it's got to be a marking for something, but it's got to be kind of dumb too, because right here they have the border patrol. They have a camera here, which is overlooking this section of the field. But I'll pull ahead here just a little bit. I don't really want to trigger their camera, thinking that I'm here picking up aliens. But so here's a little something disturbing. That's a goddamn baby stroller. And there's a jacket in there. There's a bottle hanging from it for some reason. It looks like a whiskey bottle of some kind. And then and that's got to be recent too, because that wasn't here before, and you can see the mud on the tires. So they've been pushing through the mud here with it. And that ain't going to be from somebody around here, because even if they had a child, they're not going to leave their fucking stroller behind. And I think that looks like it'd be kind of a, well, it's Jeep. That's the brand, Jeep. Now I don't know if that's actually from the brand Jeep, like the vehicle, or because I don't think they make baby strollers, or if it's another brand, just taken from Jeep. But yeah, there's a, I don't even want to get near it, but yeah, that's a little bottle of whiskey. That's the expensive stuff too, I think. Crown Royal, or however you pronounce their name. Let's see, there's their camera, which is pointing in that direction. But I know that if it was a regular person from around here, they're not going to leave their stroller behind. Why would they? This is something that this is something immigrants would do. I mean, that's pretty fucking... I heard a buzzer go off. Don't know if it's that camera or if it's the lights over there or what, but... That's absolutely fucking disturbing and kind of disgusting, because you don't know... You just don't know what the hell is going on here, because I haven't been, that wasn't here the last time I was down here. Now how the hell am I going to turn around, because I don't want to run over this guy's, somebody's already been driving over here, because they've been running over his wheat, but that's probably Border Patrol. They must have been going after somebody down here then. My theory is they had to come, because this is a gravel road, and I mean right here I guess this is dirt here, but for how much mud is packed on those wheels, I think they were coming through this field. But I don't know, you can tell it's been sitting there a while because there's water in the area where the kid would eat food from, you know, the fucking tray. Now, the only time you'd be ditching your stroller, because I don't know, I think even if you were to get caught by Border Patrol, I think they would still bring that with. And then they would ask you what to do with it. Like, they just wouldn't abandon it right there on the side of the road like that. So something sketchy happened there. Obviously aliens, immigrants, which I don't know why they're trying to even... I mean, unless the only thing I can think of is they were going to go into Canada and they saw all these trees and stuff, and they're like, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to push my stroller through all that. So they're like, no, we're going to have to abandon it. So, but I don't know. It is something. So I've never seen that before. And this isn't, well, I mean, this is kind of a hot spot too, but the other one was the other border that's closed. You know, it's been closed for 50,000 years, but yeah, and I got to back my way out of here because I don't want to run this guy's wheat over. So it's looking like it's a pretty healthy crop too, so I don't want to damage it. So looks like the Border Patrol don't give a fuck though, but I could understand it too. If you were chasing after somebody, you would have to, but I'm pretty sure the farmers are kind of used to that by now around here, get the crops getting destroyed. So they're obviously not doing it just to piss you off. It's just because they're chasing somebody probably, or something. Canada Customs, yay. But yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I can't see you trying to... I don't know why anybody would even try to come into the U.S. anymore, because honestly, you're just going to get thrown out anyway, because Trump's actually doing his job, and he's kicking a lot of them out. But I think a lot of them are they're in prisons, you know, because they've been in gangs and they've killed people and whatever else. I think most of the ones he's going after are ones in prisons, but I think he upped it now. He wants to get rid of more. I know there has been some arrests, you know, that they've been in their houses and they've been arrested by ICE. I think I can turn around right here. I don't think this guy's gonna care about me running over his weeds, but I don't want to go in the ditch either. But I think there's plenty of room here to do this. So I just have to make a 7-point turn. But oh, we got lucky there. We didn't even touch his wheat. So it's actually got some growing across the road here, which is kind of interesting. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of that, I guess. I mean, either they were trying to go into Canada, I don't know. But the way the strollers kind of sit and do, it makes you kind of think that it was coming out of Canada, but I can't really see you pushing that thing through the woods. So, I don't know. I've been coming down this road for every now and then for the last, few years. Ever since I found out that the young guy cuts hay down here. Of course, that's only every 3 years, because most of that's all CRP ground. So they only let you cut that every 3 years, and they cut that last year. So there'll be another. It's going to be a while yet before we get to cut it again. So, but I've been coming down this road for years, and And I've never seen, not even like debris down here. You know, like you see plenty of tire marks and stuff, but that's to be expected from Border Patrol and other people just wanting to cruise down the road. You know. But then also, why would you leave a stroller behind with clothing in it? See, that's kind of another thing too, is that you think that the Border Patrol would want that, you know? Like, if they got caught by the Border Patrol. You know? So, because it might be evidence, but, I mean, I don't know what kind of evidence you're going to find from, you know, a baby stroller and clothing, but you never know. Stuff could be stolen or whatever, right? So, but yeah, we don't ever hear what's going on because the Border Patrol, they can't talk and they're not releasing any information anyway. So we don't find out what's going on unless we come down here one day and we just happen to notice, you know, like that stroller. You know, even if you were a normal person, you know, and you were just walking your baby down the road, right, and something happened, right, like the mother had a heart attack or the father had a heart attack or whatever, they had to call 911. They had to get an ambulance sent down here to get them, right? So you would still have a family member or something come and get the stroller. You know, obviously that stroller's been there for a while because there was rain in it. And it rained a little bit last night. We did have a shower come through last night, but it didn't do anything, obviously, just enough to make things look kind of damp for, you know, for a little while. So, but other than that, you know, it's just like, if you're an ordinary person, you're not going to abandon your stroller just because of whatever reasons, right? So you're going to have a family member come and get it then or whatever, right? So, like, yeah, that had to have been an alien bringing a fucking baby across. Or, again, I don't know if they were coming into the U.S. or going into Canada. I honestly don't see why you'd want to come into the U.S. anymore, because you know what Trump is doing. You know that they know. You know that they're watching the U.S. news and stuff like that. Especially the smugglers, you know, that want to smuggle people in for money. So, but I don't see, like, I don't see the point of that, you know. Like, now if you're already in the U.S. and you were gonna go into Canada because you wanted to get away from Trump, then that's more understandable. I mean, like that's what I would do if I was, you know, an alien and I didn't want to get arrested by ICE or whatever. It's just like I would just run for Canada or whatever. Like, you're not going to run to Mexico because Mexico's just as fucked up as anything else. So, you know, at this point, you're pretty much safe in Canada until Canadians start fighting back too, which I don't know what they're doing. But, you know, yeah, Trump's putting an end to this crap down, and he even wants more out now. So he wants to, I don't know if he's already kicked out this many people or if that's how many he wants to kick out a month, but I think they're up to like 1 million something now. Either that's what he wants to have kicked out every month or something, or that's what he's kicked out so far. Which, if you think about it, 1 million some of immigrants is a lot. You know, and what people don't understand either is that when these fuckers come to the U.S., they get our Medicare and other stuff for free. We're the ones fucking paying for that. And then even, I don't know if Trump said it or somebody's speaking on his behalf, or I don't know, but somebody said that with them being here, that, you know, the aliens or the immigrants, whatever you want to call these people, they're actually putting a strain on our Medicare. And it's us Americans that have to struggle because the Medicare system is overwhelmed and they have to try to process all this crap, and then we don't get the coverage that we want because they're too busy, sucking the immigrants' dicks, like they get special treatment, and we're U.S. citizens and we get treated like dog shit. Like, we were born in this country and we're getting treated like dog shit. But yet, if you're an immigrant and you come into the U.S., we are immediately giving you money, a mansion, a fucking Ferrari. They're handed everything, and they're giving all this for free, including, like I said, the healthcare system. They're getting all that for free. It's us that pay for it. So even like Trump said too, or whoever, that they're putting a massive strain on our healthcare system, and it's true. Even as regular people, we don't get paid, or we don't even get full coverage hardly anymore. Like, we don't even get certain things that we should be getting as U.S. citizens. But our benefits are cut in half because it has to now be split between true Americans and immigrants that want to be Americans. But, and that's what's so stupid, is that they're doing everything wrong. Like, okay, you're an immigrant, you want to live in the U.S. Okay, first of all, come here legally, do stuff by the book. I understand it costs money, I understand all that, but that's how you're going to do it. That's how you need to be doing it. And then if you came into America, I think, the legal way, which is the correct way, then you get onto our healthcare system, whatever else, and then you pay for that by, monthly, like, they should be paying for it. Get a fucking job. Get a job and pay for it. Instead of it getting handed to you on a silver platter. We are the ones that should be getting it handed to on a silver platter. We're the ones paying for it anyway. So it's absolutely disgusting to see how this fucking country has been ran. Everybody gets fucking mad at Trump because Trump's doing this and doing that and yada yada yada, and go fuck yourself. Go find a different country to live in then. But we have let this country become what it is today. Because we have dumb Americans. There are a lot of dumb Americans in this country that just don't have common sense. So, they don't see reality. So, and then some people, forget who the hell said it, but I'm trying to remember how the hell it even went, but it had something to do with the immigrants, and since they're not here anymore, that it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt our bottom line. I don't see how. They've been hurting our bottom line since they've come here illegally. You got to understand that most of these are in prisons. Okay, we pay for that prison to be operating. They're at max capacity. Every one of them is at max capacity. And then you have some, I don't know if it's Americans. I think it's some Americans, but I think a lot of it are immigrants as well. They were protesting, which is funny that they even know how to do that. But they were protesting the fact that Trump was kicking these people out of the country without letting them have a fair trial. Because when you come here as an alien and you use that special word that gets you full access to everything because you're running for your life, apparently, from what they say, because they're just using that now as an excuse. They ain't running because they're scared. They're running because they know that it works. So, because we're stupid enough to fall for it. So, but yeah, they were bitching because Trump was not letting them have a fair trial here in America like they were promised, to be given. Well, we don't want, We don't want any more of these people here. We don't, you know. It's just like, whatever. It's like, you're just fucking mad because you're getting kicked out of this country and there's nothing you can do about it besides bitch and complain. Well, what are you gonna do, you know? It's just like, shut the hell up. Why do you always have to come to America? Why can't you go to another country that has, because I'm sure there's a couple other countries that are just like America, you know, that, yeah. You don't always have to just come to the fucking US because we're happen to just be the closest country. It's like, go to China then. I don't know. Go somewhere else, you know? Like, it's crazy to even think that, you know? So, but I don't know. But that's kind of another thing too. They were saying, the immigrants, that they should be allowed to stay here because they're the ones that are doing all of our chores. You know, like mowing their lawns, cleaning houses, you know, like just general stuff that we should be doing our fucking selves, but we're too fucking lazy to do it. It's like, that's the problem. America has gotten so damn lazy that we can't even bother to scrub our own toilet at the end of the day. It's like we have to hire in a fucking immigrant to have it done. It's like, you know, and then you pay them for their time. It's just like, why not just do it yourself? And you're basically just paying yourself because you're not spending the money on anybody else. It's going back into your own fucking pocket. And actually, and then another way to look at it, and it's not even leaving your bank account. It's not going from your bank account to an immigrant's bank account, you know? It's like, I'll clean my own toilet, my own crap, you know, I'll mow my own lawn, you know, because I'm doing all this stuff because, for one, I like doing it, and two, it saves me money, you know? It's like, I'm not going to spend money on you. You know, and then half of these are in freaking gangs and stuff. It's like, I don't want you in my house if you're a fucking gang member. Like, and half of them don't even come into the U.S. with any type of paperwork to prove who the hell they are. We have to take their fingerprints, go back to their home country, find out who the hell they are, and then half the time they don't even want to release that information. So basically, yeah, you come in here as a John Doe and you stay that way, you know. It's like, I'm sorry, but you don't know. But yeah, ever since Trump did get in the office, and things have been improving a little bit, from what I'm hearing anyways, that the border jumping, you know, on the south, you know, like Texas and all those other fucking areas, border jumping has decreased like 90%. So there's very little people now that are jumping into the U.S., but that's because they know what Trump is doing and they don't even want to bother with that. Because all you're going to get is probably just to stay here for overnight or even who knows how long. And then you're going to get deported right back to your own country. You know. And that's kind of another thing that kind of pisses me off is that, one, they're bringing kids into this. You know, it's like you shouldn't even be doing that. And then, yeah, what the hell was that other thing now? God damn it, I forgot it. But yeah, they're basically, you know, they're bringing kids in here and making them go across the border illegally and whatever. But I did find out one interesting thing, though, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think it's at the south border of Texas. I think it's Mexicans mostly, but the Mexicans, they'll walk, because I guess they live in a town that's literally right by the freaking border. So what they do is every day they walk to school. So they go to school here in the U.S. and then they go back to Mexico when they're done with school, because they want, apparently Mexican schools are not all that good, so they come to the U.S. to go to school and then to go to college and all that other stuff. So, which I thought was kind of interesting. And, in a way, I'm okay with that because they don't stay here, They just come here to go to school and learn shit, and then they leave. They go back to their own country. I think those are the ones that actually want to actually do something productive with their life. Whereas a lot of them just want to go in gangs and kill innocent people, and, there you go. I think those actually want to do something with their lives. If you're willing to go to school and go to college, you want to do something with your life, and it ain't fucking drugs and being in gangs. So, but other than that, yeah, I don't know. A lot of them, jump the border illegally, and it's not really so much Mexicans either. It's, it's other countries that they end up in Mexico and then they have to go through the U.S. But yeah, I thought it was definitely kind of funny when Trump first got into office, many years ago there, and they were actually running for their lives. When they were here in the U.S., they were running to Canada and wherever the hell else they could go, just because, Trump was threatening to kick him out, and he's doing it again, and he's sticking to his damn word. So, but I'm okay with it, because if you think about it, if there's let's just say there's 1 million of these immigrants, and they're all in prisons all across the U.S., right? Okay, you kick them out. Okay, well then they're no longer at max capacity, and then there's actually room for more of us regular people that are also terrible people. Like, it's just, there's no room for anybody anymore. That's what I'm saying. They're all at max capacity. You have some people that are sharing a room, sometimes even up to 4 people, and these rooms are only meant to have maybe 2, if you're lucky. And you got 4 people living in a room, and there's no room for it. But that's because they're at max capacity. They don't know what to do anymore. And the government wasn't coming up with any plans, to either build new prisons or more of them, which would cost billions, by the way, which they don't want to spend that money because they want that money to go into their own bank account. So that's why I figured that's why they were shoving them in, as many as they could, into each room. It's just like, whatever, just do what you can do, and that's it. Whereas Trump, he's actually just going to kick these fuckers out and be done with it. And Trump, again, I don't know if it was Trump or if it was somebody under him that's speaking on his behalf or what. But even Trump said too that, our country is going to be saving billions by just getting rid of what we gotten rid of for immigrants. It's saving us taxpayers. But then I got a feeling that, well, for one, I don't think my taxes are going to get any lower. It's not going to go down, right? So it's just, if anything, my taxes keep going up every year. My land taxes. I think this year they went down, but like $12 out of what I normally pay, which is ridiculous. But again, I live on Main Street, and Main Street taxes are always higher than if you lived like on a back road style. Like my grandma, she lives on a back road, and she owns farmland. She owns way more land than me, remember that. And she's paying less than what I'm paying for mine. I'm paying way more because I live on Main Street. Now, if I would have known that, I never would have bought the fucking house. I just would have built the house on the farm and stayed there then, It's like, Jesus. But the amount of money I've spent on taxes just in the last, 15 years or whatever I've been living at that house, I probably could have had another house built. So, it's freaking ridiculous, but what are you going to do? So, but I don't know. It's just nuts. So, but in other words, I'm glad that Trump's kicking him out. That was kind of the problem too. Is that when Joe Biden was in office, he was just letting them all in. He was just open border type law, you know, it's just let them in. But I think doing that, it put us under more strain. But everybody says that Trump is going to do the total opposite, and it's going to even put even more of a strain on us. Which I don't really see how, but whatever. Everybody's got their own opinions, you know, to how things should be done and what's going to happen if this is done or if that is done. And you're never going to be able to please everybody. But that's kind of what the government should be doing, is they should be trying to do what is reasonable for the country. You know, and if you find that immigrants are causing a stress on our country, then you got to get them out. Like another video that I watched on YouTube not too long ago, there's a guy that I watched, he did like an update video at the border in Texas, and he says that when they were brought in, the immigrants, well, they weren't put into a house, you know, $1 million mansion right away. They were living in a tent, and I think each tent can hold a few hundred people. Okay, well, from what he says, it costed like $1 million a month for just one tent to be running, because that's food, water, heat, air conditioning, whatever they needed to survive, you know. And of course, if they had kids, well, then you got baby food, diaper, baby clothing, all that other stuff. But to cost damn near $1 million for 1 month for one tent is ridiculous. So that's where my tax money's going to. I'm sorry, I'm not paying for that, you know. It's like, it's bad enough that I have to give my money to people that I don't really want to give it to, aka my local police, you know, because they've been a joke. Only like the last year have they actually been doing their fucking job, but that's just because there's been so many complaints that, you know, they finally got sick of everybody calling them, and they said, fuck it, let's just get it done. So, and that was all because of Randy. So, but it took goddamn forever for them to finally do something about it. So, but see, it's bad enough I got to pay for that. You know, I don't mind paying for road work, because I actually do enjoy having nice roads. North Dakota, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing with your money, but you guys ain't doing shit with your damn roads. You know, even the fucking interstate. You got some areas that are really good, and you got some areas that just, yeah, they need to be improved. And then those back roads, fuck me. Like, this is why I don't even like going to the cities. Like, I've done it a couple times now, and by the end of the day, you know, like, I'm thinking, geez, do I need to buy another Tahoe again, another vehicle? Because this thing's going to be plumb wore out. Not just the engine, but I'm talking like, you know, tires and suspension and crap, because it's beating the shit out of my car. It's like, you know, come on, North Dakota, fix your goddamn roads. Start with the major roads, like the interstates, and get them done. I see they're working on a couple of overpasses. The last time I went to the cities there, they had a couple of overpasses they were working on. You know, which is fine, it's understandable, but they had everything down to like one lane there for like, what, 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever the hell it was. On and off, of course, but I mean, I'm kind of mind blown that you guys are even doing that. And then right here in frickin' town, right by the truck stop, and you go up that overpass, that whole area is a fucking joke too. There was one pothole there that was really bad, but I think somebody filled it in. They just got set up with it and finally filled it in with something, I don't know what. But I'm sorry, I would just go to any hardware store, I know you're not supposed to do it, and just get a fucking bag of concrete, or if you can find tar, you know, that's used to make these roads, just get some fucking tar, make your own tar, and fill the damn potholes. But your guys' roads are so damn old that, you know, I don't know. So it's probably just time for a whole new road. And I did hear one time that they were, I don't know if they're still testing this or not, but I heard they were gonna make roads now out of rubber. So basically like recycled tires. I think that's really just so more or less the road can flex and not break from frost, extreme heat, you know, normal traffic, they're probably not going to do anything to it, but I don't know, that would be kind of interesting to see. Because if you could make a fucking road that doesn't crack anymore, then you wouldn't ever have to replace the road ever really again. Like, you could get 50 years out of a road. So, but these motherfucking roads don't last. But, you know, you also got to understand, dude, you can't let them get to the point that they're beating the shit out of people's cars. It's like, you know, like, I come to North Dakota quite a bit because my John Deere dealer's over here, and you know, things are a little bit cheaper in North Dakota. So you get kind of a better deal coming over here. But man, I'm paying the price for it in my vehicle. Whereas if you come over to Minnesota, then, you know, you don't see that. But that's because Minnesota actually invests in the money into the roads. You know, North Dakota, I don't know what the fuck they do. So, but I don't know. But it is what it is, I guess. So, but yeah, I guess, guys, that's pretty much it. There's some of the hayfield there. We won't be cutting that this year. So, yeah, looks like some nice stuff. But I don't know. I guess you guys tell me, but I don't know. See that baby stroller down there? That's one for one. That's a first, and two, it's a little, you know, really makes you wonder what the hell is going on here. You know, like you really have to bring a baby into this. So it's a stroller, so it's obviously had a kid in there at one point, but it's crazy. Absolutely and fucking insane. But all I can say is it's a good thing there wasn't a kid in there. Now, if there was a kid in there, I would be calling 911 fucking immediately, because that is not good. But I've never seen it to where a mother would abandon her child, even if you are an immigrant. I don't think they've ever done that, because they want to bring their kid here so then their kid can have a future. Yeah, joining a gang. So what do, you know? It's just that's how it works out. So, but I don't know. What do, you know? So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm gonna head home now and see what the hell's going on. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.